If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Hey, welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're joining us here today on the Inspired Choices Radio Show. You know, just hearing my name announced each time before my radio show makes me grin, because there was a time where I didn't think this was ever going to be possible. And wow, how much did I have to completely stop all the distractions in order to have myself show up in the world. So are you ready for tonight's show? Tonight is distracting yourself right out of business? Question mark? So before we get started, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. If you have never heard me before, I am a possibilities coach, and I love to work together with individuals and companies to really look to see what it is that we can create that they're really desiring. Each and every one of us desires more, and it's really your birthright to have as much as you desire. A lot of times, though, we get stuck. We get distracted. We buy into the lies that we don't deserve it, or we don't know how to get it. So using a lot of tools that I've acquired over many years, I work with you to really have you step into what would work for you, what you desire, how to get there. I don't have the answers. I have the tools. You've got the answers. Together, we're going to mine for them. So if you are interested in having a conversation with me, the first 5 minutes are always free. We can look at anything and everything. I do business coaching. I use the tools of Access Consciousness. I'm an energy healer. I'm also, as you know, a radio show host, producer, and the owner of this radio station. How did I get so brilliantly lucky? And I love working with people in business, especially. That turns me and my body on a ton. So if you would like to give me a call, if you would like to contact me, you can do so at inspiredchoices.ca or email me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. We'll set it up and we'll see where it goes. So some of the classes, just to let you know, that I actually facilitate, one of the ones that I'm just loving so much, it's one of my newest classes, is called Beyond the BS, or bullshit, business studies. And we look at everything from A to Z, what's working, what's not working, what's missing, how do you use it, what is this thing called Instagram, all of it, everything. We go from A to Z on seeing what it is that you desire and require, and we fill in the gaps so you can really step into your business, whether you haven't even started your business. Maybe you've just got a business idea, or you've got a business that's just kind of been waning along and it's kind of back and forth. This course can absolutely be a contribution to you. So we're having a ton of fun with that. I also have a course called Changing the Conversation with Suicide. If that's something that you are interested in learning more about, please do get in touch with me. It's not an easy thing to deal with, whether you're having those thoughts or someone that you know is having those thoughts or someone that has actually chosen to leave. It's a difficult conversation, and yet I do know that more is possible with it. I have had many personal situations in which I've had to tap into that, and now I have tools that I can assist with others. So that's a little bit about me. So tonight, let's get back to the conversation and the topic, distracting yourself right out of business. Bills, emails, dishes, tech issues, or other people's successes, maybe Christmas, the kids, the dog, the husband, the wife, the mailman. Who's distracting you out of business? Are you? If your business was a child, would the child be starving to death or be sitting in a dirty diaper for 6 months? It's interesting how these things come to me because I've been there. I've done all of this. You can pretty much guarantee that if I'm doing a radio show about it, I have likely done that with my own business. So I would love to hear your questions and your comments. Come join us in the chat room, a2zen.fm on the menu bar. Just click on chat room, pop in there, and come play with us. Or you're welcome to call in to the phone numbers 815-880-8255 in the U.S. or 613-800-8736 in Canada. So let's get down to it. What is distraction? Well, the definition, the online definition through online etymology, one of my favorite dictionaries, says distraction is the drawing away of the mind. It is a pulling apart, a separation. And it actually goes on to say it's mental disturbance, a thing or a fact that distracts. So how much are you pulling away from your business when you're allowing the distractions to win? Everybody's brains are like, a little bit? Yeah, no kidding, right? You know, there's so many things going on in our lives. And my mom often says, like, you're so busy, Christine, and you're always doing so many things. And yet I can remember her and my dad. My dad had a construction business, and my mother's business was taking care of all of us, 10 children and a house. And, I mean, she was always doing 1,000 different things, and yet always got all of the things completed. Now, so did my dad. You know, there was a lot of things that had to be done, and they got them completed. So this time and space with all the technology and everything that we have in our lives, I don't think it's any more distracting than it was years ago when my parents were growing up, and when I was growing up. I think that there's always been lots of things that can pull us away from focusing on and accomplishing what it is that we desire. So here's a question I have for you. Whose distractions are you buying? Whose points of view or whose thoughts are you actually picking up on with the distraction that you're choosing? Yeah, a little bit, right? So are you actually buying into somebody else's distractions that are actually lies for them, but you're kind of following along? Like, let me give you an example. A lot of people in business believe that you have to have all your T's crossed and all your I's dotted before you can really step into your business, right? And let's take this analogy back to the baby. So you suddenly have a baby in your arms. You've birthed this baby, and you're like, oh, shit, I didn't know that I actually needed to have diapers. I was just worrying about feeding the child. I didn't even think about the diapers. And suddenly, that diaper is really stinky, and you've got to change it. Well, you're going to change it. You're going to focus on it. You're going to do whatever required to get diapers, right? You're going to make sure that those diapers are in your hands as fast as possible. Because one, you don't want to smell this. Two, you don't want to have to clean it up on the floor or on your clothes. And three, you don't want this beautiful little baby to have a rash on its bottom that you're going to have to deal with, and the baby's going to have to deal with, right? So you would actually pay attention to what's required there. You wouldn't actually stop and go, you know what? Okay, so I'm not going to worry about the diapers right now because the change room or the nursery isn't all set up yet. I have to get the whole nursery set up. And I'm sorry, baby, that you're crying and you're hungry, but this all has to be in order before I can actually deal with that. Like, so there's a proper order to everything. And if I don't follow the proper order, it's just not going to work out. Anybody else get that we do that in business? That a lot of the times we're buying into, I can't do that yet because I don't have this, or I can't do that yet because I don't have this. I've heard people, even people that are just starting out in business, they're like, well, I can't actually promote myself because I don't have business cards. Really? Is that really true? Or is that a distraction that's keeping you from growing your business? Now, yes, I believe in business cards. And yes, I believe in getting the foundation in place. But I don't believe stopping your business from growing if you don't have those in place, right? So many of us use these first things as a massive distraction. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't have my website up, or it's not perfect, or I don't have everything on there I want, or, you know, I don't have, you know, everything that they say, whoever they are. I think they're the distractor kings. They say you need to have on a website, right? And I'm like, I say to a ton of people that I work with, you don't have to wait for that. You don't have to ensure that all of those things are in place before someone will choose you. People are not choosing to hire you, your business, you know, your products or your services based on what a pretty website you have, or based on the fact that you have a business card that looks and says the right things. They're actually looking. When people are actually looking for you and they start to have that conversation and you're in your mind going, well, I could tell them about me. Well, maybe this is one of those times that they talk about where you could just like promote yourself. But, I can't do that because I don't have my business card, or I don't have my website. Oh my God, they're going to think I'm unprofessional. Really? Are they? Or is that just another lie, a distractor lie that you keep buying into? What if things aren't coming in some kind of perfect order? What if the clients, the buyers, are actually showing up before you have everything lined up perfectly? Are you actually going to refuse the universe's contribution to you and your business? Are you going to wait until everything is perfect before you allow yourself to receive? Have you bought into that you have to be the perfect at everything before you can choose it? I can tell you, when I first started radio, oh my God, it was a joke. It was so funny because I just knew I wanted to do it. And I thank God, this is one thing I love about myself. I will jump in with both feet. And sometimes it gets messy, and I'm okay with that. But the first time I was on radio, I was actually crying because I was, one, nervous. I was overwhelmed with the excitement of being on the radio, of actually choosing it, and just stepped into the energy of gratitude that I finally showed up in my life. And I cried for the first 15 minutes, and I wish I had that recording. It's got lost somewhere. But, oh my gosh, if I'd have waited, you guys, the station that you're actually listening to may never have come to fruition. Now, I do get that I'm the center of the universe. And somebody else might have created a radio station that you would be listening to. But this way this particular one has been created, you wouldn't be listening to, because I had to choose first to step in order to create exactly how it's shown up here. So would you be willing to actually start looking at what it is that you desire and where you are distracting yourself? What if you started to actually make a list of what you desire in your business and then start dating that, put the dates beside it, and see how long it is, or even date how long you've been desiring that for? And then would you be willing to seriously have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself? That's what I call those meetings where you kick yourself in the ass, or maybe you have a coach that you allow them to kick you in the ass so you'll finally step forward. Do you know what? If a business has come to you and it's the energy of your business and you're allowing yourself to be distracted, whether it's someone else's distractions you're buying into, some other lies that you're buying into, do you know what is going to actually happen to that business, the energy of that business, that entity known as your business? It can actually die. It can actually go away because you're not nurturing it. You're not honoring it. You're ignoring it. What kind of a contribution is that to your business? Is that to you? And is that to the world when you're actually ignoring it? Okay, so we got We got in really heavy, really fast. We're going to go for our first break of the night. I feel like everybody's sitting there with their jaws dropped open. Is it just me? Or is that what's going on? Oh, my goodness. Okay, so stick around when we come back. I'll continue to kick your ass or invite you into choosing greater. Would love to hear from you, but stick around, and we'll talk to you right after this commercial break. So you're listening to Inspired Choices Radio, distracting yourself right out of business is the show tonight. Come on back, peeps.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, here we are. So, before we went to break, I was doing a little bit of ass kicking and actually said in the chat room, do I need to call the paramedics? Because it was like, just complete silence, and I can kind of hear everybody. It's nearly like everybody's distracted by what I'm saying, or they're going down a rabbit hole, which is very, very funny to me. Anyways, what I wanted to talk to you about now is where you're distracted and what occurs in your life when you're distracted in other areas. So if you were actually driving a car and you got distracted, what could happen? You could actually be killed, right? You could die. What if you were a parent and you got distracted and you weren't paying attention to your child? They could be very, very badly hurt, or they could die. What about when your food's going bad in the fridge and you're distracted and you're not paying attention to what's in front of you right there? Do you ever open the fridge and you've got like a whole bunch of food and you're like, I can't see anything? There's so much in front of you that you actually can't see it. That's kind of what it's like when you have all of these possibilities of creation. There's so much in front of you, and you get so distracted by your mind not being able to process it all that you actually you end up not being able to see it. What really is required in your business, as in driving, as in taking care of a child, even with the food in your fridge, is for you to be present. So right now, everybody, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, right now, I would like you to drop your barriers, and I would like you to expand out, and I would like you to get present right now, right here. All right. Sometimes I just will knock on my chest a little bit and I'll actually say to myself, get present, get present. And this actually happens on the radio because as I start to tap into a lot of where everyone's at, I get distracted and I actually have to tell myself, be present, be present. Okay? When you are demanding more for yourself, sometimes you've got to demand these things of yourself. Would you be willing to be your own ass kicker so that you get out of the bullshit of distraction? Are you ready to really be present with your business? Are you ready to stop the games? Are you ready to seriously take this business in the direction it's desiring to go? And I'm going to tell you something. If you're distracted and you're bothered by your distraction, you know there's more possible with your business. If you're frustrated by the amount of income you are not making, you're not being present with your business. And I say this with all kindness. There's so many opportunities in the world. There are so many things that you can be doing and adding to your business and being the invitation of it. But we buy into this lack belief system, whether it's a lack of money or it's a lack of opportunity or it's a lack of people looking for us. You know, the one thing that I absolutely know is when you get clear with yourself, when you really get clear and you start being you 100%, things start to shift so much. I know when I first started my business, I was trying to fit into everybody else's mold of what business looked like or what a coach looked like or you know, what you should put together. Because today I have all these different things that I do. And when I'm doing all of these different things, a lot of times people will look at me and go, what do you do? What's your business? And I put it all under the umbrella of possibilities coach because that can have anything in there. It's not as defining as just a business coach or just a life coach or just a this or just a that. It's a possibility. I am all about possibilities. And so when I started to realize that I could create what it is that I desire, and I started really looking at if I was truly being me, what would be fun? If I was truly being me, what would I choose? That actually had me, even though it was fun and even though it was adding more things to my business, it actually had me step in and the distraction started to fall away, and it actually had me step into more and more and more of focusing in on these things that turn me on, that turn my business on, that has had me really show up in the world. So my question to you is, are you willing to be visible in your own life and business? Truth. Are you willing to be heard, to really, truly be heard? Are you willing to have an honest conversation with yourself or a coach about where you allow yourself, and I do say allow yourself to be distracted? Because just like anything in our lives, distraction is also a choice. I have had many good friends kick my ass and say, why are you allowing that to distract you? You know, like trauma and drama. Oh my God, how much trauma and drama is going on in the world right now, right? Oh, yeah, a ton of it. And it's so easy to get pulled in, to get sucked into it and get distracted by it. You've got to really ask yourself, are you willing to cut all the distraction out and really show up? What if you showing up in your life and in your business is actually what will start to diminish the trauma and drama in the world? Do you know that you came here to make a change, that you came here to make a difference? Do you know that you absolutely have the capacity to contribute massively to yourself and to those around you? Here's something I know, that if a business idea has come to you, you're the ticket. for that business. Now, you may not have all the information you require. That's okay. I don't have all the information I require too. I'm always reaching out to people. I'm always looking for more resources. I'm always looking at what else. But what I absolutely do know, that when I don't allow anything to distract me, when I don't allow myself to be completely derailed, that I can move forward. And sometimes you've got to push stuff out of your head. You've got to push stuff. Like, you may have to close down your email or, make a pact with yourself. You're not going to go on social media for an hour. Or maybe it's cleaning off the desk and putting all the paper in one corner so that you can seriously look at what is required. Let me ask you this question. Do you really desire to be in business? Really? Okay, so everywhere you're just spinning out on that one. Here's the thing, guys. You do not have to work 24/7 on your business. And you do not have to even work full-time on your business. You can have a part-time business that can be amazingly successful. And success for you is your definition, not mine. Okay? We were on the business call that I did last night with the class. We were talking about money, and one of the women said that she had hit $10,000 that month, and we were all cheering for her because that was something that she really, really wanted to hit. And I said, that's amazing. And she goes, yeah, on to the millions. And I said, yeah, if that's what you desire. You've got to get clear about what you desire and not buy into that you have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be a millionaire. If you really, really, really want to work part-time, if you really want to have your business be part-time and make an extra $2,000 a month, and that creates what it is that you desire for success in your business, that's fantastic. But whatever it is, would you be willing to seriously be present with it? Would you be willing to push all of the distractions away so that you can actually create what it is you desire? Have you bought the lie that you can't do it? Have you bought the lie that just because you've never done it before, you don't know how to do it and you'll probably fail? Would you be willing to totally fail? Would you be willing to allow yourself to screw it up? Wow, that is so heavy in everybody's reality. You know what? Failure is only good for 10 seconds because you can choose again. There was a time that I went bankrupt. I beat myself up for years about that because I thought that deemed me as the ultimate failure. The ultimate failure. Well, guess what? I'm not bankrupt anymore. My business is going well. I'm paying my bills. I have a roof over my head. And, here's the other thing. I'm happy. I'm joyful. I'm moving forward. So if you would allow yourself to fail and get that it's only good for 10 seconds and you can step up again, you can try again, you can move forward, something else might be able to change. But you've got to get clear about what it is success is for you, what it is that you desire, and what you're willing to do to become undistracted so your business can flourish. If your life depended on you not being distracted, would you do it? Right? If there's suddenly a fire in your home, you're paying attention to that fire, right? Like you're dropping everything else and that's your focus. You are no longer distracted by some stupid idiot on Facebook saying something dumb, right? That doesn't matter anymore. What if that was your business? Would you be willing to give your business that much attention? Would you be willing to step in to create what it is that you know is possible? Would you be willing to say yes to you and your business, which sometimes means saying no to other people? Would you be willing to turn off your phones? Would you be willing to, put the close sign on the door? Would you be willing to stay out of social media while you give your business the attention that's required? And would you please be willing to drop the lie that you can't possibly do it? Because I know when someone decides that they desire something and they're going to have it, nothing and no one can stop them. Are you ready to step into your business fully and completely without being distracted? And ask yourself, when you're in the middle of something, ask yourself, is this required right now, or am I using it as a distraction? That one, I'm positive I've been doing for at least the last year. Is this required right now? Or is this just a distraction? What if you were to start asking that question each and every day around what you're choosing in your business? There are days when cleaning up the office is required. There are days when doing the book work is required. There are times when posting, doing your marketing, doing your advertising, making those phone calls, doing the networking is required. Everything can be a requirement, but are you using some of those requirements as distractions? It's so easy to become so amazingly proficient with your organizational skills. Trust me, I'm as anal as they get. But I'm telling you that when I've got a target in front of me, nothing and nobody stops me from accomplishing it. Because I have made a commitment to myself and to my business that I am no longer going to allow distractions to suffocate it. What if distraction is a huge pillow that we suffocate our business with? That brings me a funny visual. Okay, on that note, I'm being distracted by funny visuals. On that note, we're going to go for our second break of the night. Please stay tuned. We'll see what else will come up after the break. You're listening to Inspired Choices tonight, and distracting yourself right out of business?
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. So tonight we're talking about distracting yourself right out of business. So there's a great conversation going on in the chat room right now around how a lot of them, when I ask the question, Did they want to be in business? They got a no. And then I asked a couple of questions. And the one question that really popped for me is creating the business, is it creating or is it the idea of what business is in this reality? Because how many of us have been trying to do business the way that we've bought into it has to be done? What if that way doesn't work for you and your business? Have you actually asked your business how it would like to show up? Have you asked what if we took the word business out of it? Because every time I say that, I get this intensity in my head. What is it you would like to play with? What is it that you would like to invite into creating with you? What is it that you would like to share with the world? What is it that you do that is so much fun that when you share it, you don't even care to be paid for it? I know that there are people in the chat room right now that are brilliant, I'm so privileged to have in my life, and they are so phenomenal at so much of what they do, and yet they've bought into, this is my point of view, they've bought into that they're not succeeding in business. So what is that you're so phenomenal at and other people see it and you don't see it? Are we distracting ourselves from the lie that we're actually not moving forward? You know, many of us, we want it all yesterday, right? And I do this exact same thing as I look at what I'm creating, where I'm at in my life, and I go, ugh, it's not happening. And yet that's not true. Because if I actually looked back over the last 8 years of how my business has evolved and what I have done and where I'm at with my business, it has absolutely evolved. Like today, I received the shipment of my very first book that I'm an author in. And I'm thrilled. It's called Where is Your Doorway to Possibilities? And I am thrilled to be finally published in, paper, on paper. It's true. That there's so many times when I go to do the writing piece of going into a book. There's another amazing book coming out very, very shortly that I'm an author in. And it's all about relationship. I cannot wait till that one comes out as well. But do you know, guys, every single time that I have gone to want to complete that, I have bought the lie that I can't do it. And there's been something distracting me. There's been something that I literally cut off the creation of it, and I walk away from it. And I've got about 4 more books sitting here in my head, started on paper and so on. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is crazy. I have all of this. And I know that there's something stopping me. There's something distracting me. And what I really am making myself do now is I'm like, you have to stop and you have to really pay attention to this and take it in small chunks. One step at a time. You don't have to barrel in and change your world with writing, okay? But if you really desire it, you've got to hold yourself accountable to doing it. And that's what I'm doing. That's the same in anything within my business. And when you are looking at what is in your life and what is in your business that's working, that's not working, that you absolutely know has to get completed. Come on, hands up, guys. How many of you absolutely know that there is this one thing in your business that you've been avoiding? There's this one thing that you have not been willing to do. And if you're honest with yourself, doing that would give you so much ease. Would you be willing to have that conversation with yourself? Would you be willing to really pay attention to what it is that's required? Maybe it's hiring someone to do the shit you don't like doing. Maybe it's actually putting everything else aside and holding yourself accountable to doing 1 hour a day on that one thing. One of the things that I wasn't doing a lot of, and I know this is funny, but is actually asking the universe for contributions every day. And this is one of the things that we're doing in the class, is we're actually writing down 10 asks a day. 10 asks a day. And that's a lot of asks if you don't ask, right? Okay, any minute now I'm going to say the word ask. So I'm just going to say ask right now in case I slip up. Would you be willing to step in and to ask what it is that your business desires and requires? Would you be willing to ask for what it is that you desire and require? That is a really big thing that, the universe cannot contribute to you if you're not asking. And that, for me, was something I was avoiding doing. I don't know why. I don't even give a shit why anymore. You know what? I'm so giving up on the whys, and it's really funny coming out of my mouth because I always ask, but why? I don't understand. I don't care anymore. It actually, the why is a distraction. Do you get that? When we're constantly looking at the why, it's actually distracting. Do you know the difference between people who are actually doing what it is you wish you were doing? Is actually one little thing, and it's called choice. And I know that a lot of times when people have said that to me, I've wanted to tell them to go pound salt. But it's true. It really comes down to choice. You can do anything. You can do absolutely anything when you choose it. You've got to acknowledge this. You have got to be willing to look at what's not working, and you've got to be willing to look at where you're distracting yourself. Would you be willing to ask these questions? Would you be willing to? And if you don't want to be in business, don't be in business. If you don't want to do this, you would like to earn money or travel the world, maybe be somebody's sugar baby, do it. Whatever it is. Whether you're working for somebody else or you're working for yourself or you're a sugar baby, you know what? You're in business. Do you know what that means? It means that you're showing up and that you're making a contribution. Would you be willing to just acknowledge that you are in business in some way, whether it's on somebody else's umbrella or it's under yours? You are creating and contributing. Now, the choice is yours as to where and how you want to do that. But here's the thing, guys. There's so much frustration. There's so much lack of joy in the world. There's so much lack of fun in the world. Would you be willing to actually show up and have more joy? Would you be willing to actually bring in the happiness that you desire with your focus? Maybe the focus for you in creating more joy in your life is going dancing or going skiing or going swimming in the ocean. There's been so many things that I have chosen in the last couple of years that look like play that are actually a huge contribution to me. Huge contribution to me. And they might look like they're a distraction. They're not a distraction at all. They're actually a huge contribution because the play energy comes back in to revitalize me in my business. And it starts to, when I'm in that energy of play, it starts to actually contribute new creative ideas to me. That's how it works for me. That's how the path of the last, 5 years has been with my business. It started out with actually playing with a very dear friend of mine, Carol Glover. We started to play and it started to unlock so much from the energy of play. So where are you cutting off yourself, distracting yourself from what contributes and distracting yourself from what's required? Would you be willing to start looking at these things? And would you be willing, please, oh please, to friggin' well stop being so distracted by the lies around you? Because there is abundance everywhere. It's there for the choosing. Okay, we are going to go for our final break of the night. And when we come back, we're going to wrap this up. I love to hear your comments and your questions. And when we get back, I wonder what else is going to pop up. All right, everybody, you are listening to Inspired Choices Radio tonight. Distracting yourself right out of business, perhaps? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Distractions. How many of you have bought into that fun and business don't go together? How many of you are actually separating the fun out of your business? How distracting would you like to become when there's no fun in your business? Do you know how easy it is to get distracted when it's heavy and it's boring and it feels like a arduous job? Do you know that the fun in your business, when you first thought of your business idea, you were excited because you wouldn't have chosen forward. And if you weren't excited, you might want to look at that. Maybe what you're choosing is actually not something you actually even ever thought would be enjoyable. You know, there's a lot of people out there doing business from the shoulds, from mom said, dad said, I was good at math, therefore I'm an accountant, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I really know that when you're having fun, and not that every moment of every day with my business is fun or anybody's is fun, but if there's not that juice that gets you out of bed in the morning, that gets you wanting to go, you want to really look at that. Everybody's business or job should be something that contributes, that nurtures, that turns them on, turns their body on. Why are you here? You didn't come here to have a really heavy, awful, shitty life. You came here to play and have fun. As Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, says, what if life was supposed to be all about having fun? But you wouldn't want to have that. You wouldn't want to have any fun because, oh my God, that would be terrible. There was a guest on another show today on the Unchained with Becky radio show. His name is Charlie Castex. And something that he said that just really popped for me, he said, starve your distractions and feed your focus. How many of us are feeding what we do not like? We keep looking at it, right? The law of attraction. What you keep focusing on expands, right? We keep looking at these distractions. We keep looking at, why isn't this working? Why is this? Why? And we're actually not going over and focusing on what it is that we desire. We keep allowing the shit to distract us. Yeah, I know it's really smelly, but hey, put a clip on your nose and get to it. Carol says, I thought having my own business was the only way I could have the freedom and flexibility I desired. And it turned out that it stripped me of that. There you go. And you know what, Carol? Great awareness. A lot of people, they actually don't fully like having their own business because they don't like the amount of work that maybe is required to go into it. Other people enjoy it, right? And there are times when I'll be super focused in my business and I'll maybe put in really long hours, and then there'll be other times that I'll just go off and play in the world. That's what works for me. But it's so important to understand the difference between a distraction and what's required. And to understand that you do not have to have fun separated out of your business, that you can actually have the joy and the fun of your business, but you've got to be clear with yourself. Are you willing to show up? Are you willing to do what's required? And seriously, guys, would you be willing to ask yourself and ask your business what it desires? So truth, if I choose this business, what will my life be like in 5 years? Truth, if I don't choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? Play with the questions. And when it's light, even for a millisecond, would you be willing to step into it and play with it and really dance with it? Because a lot of the times when we get something that's super light and a few minutes later it starts to get heavy, we start perceiving everybody else's point of view. Christina, thank you. The secret of success is making your vocation your vacation. Mark Twain. I like that, right? How much of your life and your living when you're in your business and you're having fun and the time just flies. So much of my days are like that because I'm loving what I'm doing. And I have had a shit ton of days where I haven't been loving it. But at the end of the day, when I ask myself those questions, I always get a yes. I get a light. And I'm happy to say that there's lots of days like today where it's really joyful and it's exciting. And I know that if I focus and I don't allow the lies to distract me, I am moving forward. And one of the greatest things that I've ever done is actually hire people to work with me to help guide me in that direction. I would love to be that for you if that's something that you require. I do one-on-one personal coaching, I do one-on-one business coaching, and I do group coaching for business. I would love to contribute to you in your business, whether it's one call or it's our 6-month program. I would love to have a conversation with you. And doing business and seeing people succeed in business really lights me up. So thank you, everyone, so much. I'm so grateful for everybody that showed up on the call today and that's in the chat room. If you're listening in the replay, thank you so much for stopping by and listening. If you've got any questions, if you've got anything about business that's sticking you, please email me, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. I'm happy to contribute to you because I know that when we are moving forward, when we're all moving forward, we're creating greater in the world. And as you're listening to the radio and you're hearing me on the radio, have you ever thought about having your own radio show? Have you ever thought about taking your knowing and your voice and your ideas and bringing them out to the masses? Would you be willing to contribute what you know in the world through your voice, through showing up and really being present? I would love to hear from you. Again, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Well, folks, next week we got another awesome show coming up. I can't tell you all about it. It started to form today. I don't have the total title yet, but I would love to have you come back and play. So until next time, remember, you can always, always make another choice. Stay present, stay focused, and for goodness sakes, everybody, have fun. Have an amazing week. Talk to you next week. Bye for now. Woo-hoo!
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.